Hello, welcome to another edition of the VOD Weekly News Recap. I am Glorious Haddijatou Njie. Good evening. Now let's look at the headlines. Mayor Bensouda opens 100 new shops at Kunda Sabiji. Yankuba Toure's appeal case adjourned for judgment in December. Justice for 66 plus babies. Group expressed grief over the death of the children. 10 thieves caught using mystic shrines in Dalaba Estate. Capacity building training for National Assembly Standing Committee on Defense and Security on the way. GPU celebrates Global Day of Universal Access to Information. PDOIS demands compensation for families of AKI deaths. Those were the headlines. Now let's look at the news in details. The Kanifing Municipal Council Mayor Talib Bensouda has on Tuesday officially unwrapped the first phase of a newly completed Kunda Sabiji market expansion with 100 new shops constructed in addition to the original 72 shops in the building, which were also opened in 2019, making it 172 shops. Having officially opened the canteens and toilets built at the market in the KMC under his leadership, Mayor Bensouda revealed that there would be provision of additional waste trucks that would help in collecting waste from the markets. Also speaking at the opening ceremony, Haddijatou, on behalf of the Alcalo of Kunda Sabiji, expressed delight over the council's continuous support in uplifting the market. She decried the high cost of rental fees of the stalls while listing their numerous hitches at the market.
Marsebi alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
Ako marsa dum fana keta nyeng ala tendu nyanyi ma balati bi.
Mbar la won nga dañal ko tabaxal ñu étage.
Ako marsa nyeng ku ya wonde mu ya boy ya kenye nyimbu nyima bal.
Nga ñew nga tabaxalat ñu stalls.
Ako muta ko take inata yekum falu lo ñeje.
Si gannaaw nga maintenance fa.
Ako ko la muta ya be maintenance kuce.
Waye lolu doyut ñu.
Ako bari lor me o hanbi o man kanyam fere.
Lord Mayor su tawé.
Ako lor me on sanjo keta.
Dégala dëkk bi yépp ay tax.
Ako toña ngalong ji lor la be banko la beto.
Waye marché Latrikunda du daan tax ndox.
Ako bari Latrikunda marché o jobo ko lono woto.
Waye nawet bi am nañ coono ci ndox torop.
Ako bari ñi sama tambila nga bota ko jama so do jelo karola.
Ñu ngi la ñaan nga japp ci bu baaxa baaxa baax.
Ako lor me o mbe dan la simma ko woto baake.
Jigéen yi fundelal ci gannaaw.
Ako musolu ka wa fere mo fene dame.
Ñaaka pexe rek motax ñu jëna seen lekka.
Ako fere sunu bari ala ndro wala nan kele do morol sang.
Parce que duy and ak health.
Ako kaddu ko anen jata kende amanta.
Parce que ndox bi daf ko tilimal.
Ako kaddu ko jeka nondile.
Te su ndox bobu la gaay di lal di ñu jaay.
Andu ngay ka fa non fene o jero kono ko wa fere ko je.
Kon ñu ngi la ñaan nga defal ñu sun drainage bu baaxa baax.
Ako do lolu me o mbe dan la simma ko jibor si lolu to baake.
Furthermore, Mayor Talib Bensouda reiterated the council's vision in building 7 new markets in the municipality. As waste collection still remains a challenge in the markets, Mayor Bensouda promised another 7 waste vehicles. The judgment on former junta member Yankuba Toure's appeal case before the Court of Appeal of the Gambia against the High Court's decision is slated for 13th December 2022. The case was on Monday adjourned to Tuesday for the adoption of the brief of arguments filed by both parties before the court. Whilst moving his brief on arguments for adoption, counsel of the appellant, Yankuba Toure, A.C. Soho, urged the court to set aside the High Court's judgment against his client, discharged and acquitted him. Also moving his brief of arguments of the adoption, counsel of the respondent, the State Counsel M.B. Sow, told the court that the High Court's judgment was based on sound legal principles and supported by evidence, and urged the court to dismiss the application filed by Yankuba Toure. Following the submission of both the appellant and the respondent, President of the Court of Appeal of the Gambia, Justice Nasise Salwad, adopted their brief and scheduled the judgment on the case on 13th December 2022. Meanwhile, on 14th July 2021, the High Court of the Gambia found Yankuba guilty of the murder of former Finance Minister Usman Karo Sise and sentenced him to death by hanging. The members of Justice for the 66 Plus Babies group on Friday, 14th October 2022, organized a press conference at Baobab Hotel in Bijilo to express grievance over the death of 66 plus children of acute kidney injury. Speaking at the press conference, human rights activist Haddijatou said laziness in our health care is causing loss of lives due to the poor service delivery, and we have syrups in this country because of the failure at the quality level, the level of the president and the level of the ministers.
At the policy level, at the regulatory level, at the service delivery level, we are getting failure of services in healthcare, which is costing our lives. Binta gave birth to triplets and lost two of them. Due to negligence, due to poor service delivery at the delivery point. We have these syrups come into this country because of failure at the regulatory level. And we cannot get accountability because there is failure at the policy level, at the level of the president and at the level of the minister. And as citizens, we need to consider this very well. You know, we are talking about syrups for babies, but it could have been any medicine for any category of our population, adults, you know, men, women, whoever, for any condition, which means effectively no one is safe. And this is just one sector, that is health, but what about the food we eat?
Ibrahim Asanyang, a victim who lost his child to acute kidney injury caused by paracetamol, said he is a victim of AKI death because his son, Lamin Sanyang, who is 3 to 4 years old, got sick and he took him to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, they gave us a lot of medicines, which include paracetamol syrup. It was on Wednesday night. I gave the medicine to his mother. The following day, which was on a Thursday, he could not urinate or defecate throughout, he said.
Ko amantara okere nga samba lockdown to. So kabri nga futandi je nyim boro le di molla paracetamol syrup be wala kono. Bor jamal lombare paracetamol syrup be wala kono. On Wednesday night la nga dinno nyi samba lockdown to. Ye boro diala nata boro ta nga dia ba mala. Shuto 12 ay boro nyimming a mingdamen to Thursday be ame sumna no ame buno. Then abama na tan contact ka tande na ko nying ame sumna mantano jonko to. Nka ko maybe amon jiole min baake wala mon domorole ke. That Obama still now she is worried. Nka ko anyway. Then sa jibe jam fo soma nga check. Ko yeta yela dimbal bula jam. Woto nintol dingol bitakam. Ntol la ficho be mintole. Abe place re mintole. Dulati je. So mba fala mansa Kunda e mol gesto. Ye lo nyum ko ta stop. Sate bukatano na jata kendia side mantarata katama. Ando abukatano karam mungo mantama. Abukatano domorol bunda man lu. Abukatano security manta. So nyilon satiti.
The members of the Gambia Police Force on Tuesday arrested some thieves that reside at Dalaba Estate at random with wet mystical soft, and some stolen items were found in the operation. However, a preliminary investigation by the police led to a massive discovery of different items, which includes cases of clothes and shoes, laptops, a generator bag, mobile phones, cutlasses, and other valuables. The police stated that following their raid, 9 young Nigerian nationals and 1 Gambian lady were arrested, all of whom were between the ages of 18 2030. Speaking to this medium, Kekuta Ture, a resident and the Spotlight Security, a private security firm supervisor, said that he monitored the arrestee following complaints of rampant theft and break-ins.
What happened was we do counter break-ins here all the time. So there was a time, I saw these people, their movement in and out. So they normally move by two pairs. If two people come in, they will do their things, start to look all over the compounds where they will be operating, and they will go. But the next time you will see another different two of them. So they don't come at the same time. If two comes, next time the other two you will see will be different from the other ones who come. So there was one time, I intercepted them with my men. We were sitting here, brewing a tire, drinking. Then I saw them, going in and out, checking the compounds. I had to intercept them. I stopped them. I said, well, actually, how are you guys? They say, we are fine. I said, actually, I've been seeing you here since, but we don't know who you are and what you are doing here. I asked them, which block are you? They said, we are Njie Street. In Delaware here, you have streets, A, B, C, D, up to J. But each and every household is having a number. Then I tell them, which number are you in Njie Street? But they cannot mention any number. Then I tell to my men that actually I suspected these people. I don't trust them anymore because they don't say where they are. So I have been monitoring them, putting my mind onto them. Anytime they come, I'll be watching them in and out. And we have been encountering break-ins.
Fatu John, also a resident whose son lives abroad, said that her son brought a compound for her, saying that this unfortunate situation of rampant theft and robberies is causing so much economical loss.
Problem being am moy sàcca yi dañu sonal dañu gétteen te bugga nañ li ñu promisoon si estate bi ñu seet yàlla ñu defal ñu loolu because doo mun a nekka jënd sa kër ba pare nekkuloo si jàmm loolu dafa metti torop ñu ngi ñaan ngir yàlla ak yonente bi ñu dimbale ñu li ñu promisoon ci estate bi promise yëpp fulfiluñ ko nañ seet yàlla ñu dimbale ñu ngir yàlla ak yonente bi ñu nag suñ doom yee fi nekk te every time sàcca dafa metti torop te amuñ fenn fuñ ko joytu léegi nañ ñu dimbale ngir yàlla ak yonente bi ñu dimbale ñu comme kër danga ko jënda pour nga ne nga noppaleku benn noppaleku amu fi te bu ñoo nekk every time ci problème bii nii dafa metti torop te ñun soo gisee ñu am fii suñ doom yi ñoo nekk Europe ñoo génne seen xaalis jëndal ñu ñun toog fii mënuñoo am lii waaye suñ doom yi nekk Europe jënd kër yi kon nag liñ promisoon nañ fulfill seen promise.
A 3-day capacity building training for the members of the National Assembly Standing Committee on Defense and Security on the review and analysis of security institutions, reports and budget reviewed and analyzed has kicked off on Wednesday at the Mexico Residence Hotel in Kotu. Speaking at the commencement of the training, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly and Chairman of the Standing Committee for Defense and Security of the National Assembly, Njie, stated that the training came at a time when government was preparing the 2023 budget estimates for consideration and approval by the National Assembly.
Therefore, this training will provide the committee the rare opportunity to understand security sector budgeting as well as analytical skills to conduct effective scrutiny and oversight over the sector. A thorough understanding of security institutions, report and budget will enable the committee to not only scrutinize the reports but also advocate for more budgetary allocations where needed to enable them to execute their functions effectively and efficiently. In view of the above, I would like to urge all participants to take the training seriously and proactively participate in the discussion. I would like to assure all that the Standing Committee on Defense and Security, in line with the security sector reform policy, will continue to advocate for the necessary support for the scrutiny for the security sector reform to ensure that our gallant men and women in uniform operate as required by law. As I always emphasize, that security is everyone's business, and therefore it is our individual and collective duty, irrespective of gender, religion, or party affiliations, to advocate and safeguard peace, for which we are widely known for as Gambians.
In his part, Mr. Vidal, the Deputy Head of Office and Senior Board Member and Senior Board Management National Security Advisor for the Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance in Banjul, said that the DCAF is currently implementing numerous significant projects in the Gambia security sector for security sector reform process within their strategic framework, such as supporting the Gambia Police Force, a European Union-funded project, as well as the Gambian Immigration Department, which is a Swiss government funded.
We are dedicated and fully committed to improving human state security by strengthening the democratic control, the rule of law, respecting human rights, and gender mainstreaming. As we know, now more than ever, preserving security and stability in democracies is critical, as the Gambia has been an example for the past 5 years. Threats are inside and outside, within the threats of transnational organized crime and its diverse portfolio of illegal activities. It is imperative that the coordination among government branches secures the continuing democratic process, specifically in the security sector reform. Although the current constitution does not allow and stipulate international law as source of domestic law, we shall remember that the UN Security Council resolutions are binding to all state parties, regardless of their legal system.
The Gambia Press Union, in collaboration with UNESCO, commemorated the International Day of Universal Access to Information 2022 with the theme, The State of Preparedness for the Implementation of the Access of Information Act 2021. The program held at the Mexican Residence Hotel in Kotu on Wednesday brought together GPU members amongst other various stakeholders. Speaking at the opening of the symposium, the Minister of Information, Lamin Quinjamme, outlined that at the level of his ministry, they assumed that information to be a public good and its access to a fundamental human right embodying the right to expression, association, and interaction.
This commemoration takes into account our collective success in the struggle to anchor the foundation of fairness and equality and equity ushered in through an unfettered access to information critical to the advent of knowledge and information societies. I'm again happy to report that Freedom House, under the USAID, has shown concrete commitment to fund that consultancy. The ministry is working on 3 other proposals that in the near future will be socialized with the relevant stakeholders and partners for immediate implementation upon the availability of support. Therefore, the required financial support for the implementation of these proposals will strengthen the institutional capacity of the ministry to enhance public access to information.
The party leader and Secretary General of PDOIS, Halifa Saleh, has blamed the government for neglecting the public sector doctors on the effect of Indian-made serum that killed over 80 Gambian children and urged the government to take the lead in following up with the Indian Pharmaceutical Limited on why the serum were made for the Gambia alone, and he encouraged the government to establish good payment for public sector doctors to effectively do their work. Halifa Saleh made these statements in a press conference the party organized on Wednesday, 19th October. The leadership of PDOIS also called on the government to investigate the current situation within 2 weeks to a month and come out with findings to address what has gone wrong regarding these serums that have killed so many Gambian children.
But they were keen enough to trace the source and to alert the authorities for something to be done. What you must bear in mind is that the country has children, just like families have children. The country has children. You and I and everybody else must be seen to be sons and daughters of the country. And the country must protect its children. It must ensure that even one life is not lost. That is why we are combating infant mortality. That's why we are combating maternal mortality. We don't want a single life to be lost. So any single life that is lost is a loss for the nation. That's the child who could have been president, who could have been minister, who could have been an engineer, who could have been a doctor, who could have been anything else. Like you, me, and anybody else.
That's all we have for you today. Until we come your way again, I am Glorious Haddijatou Njie on the VOD Weekly News Recap. Thanks for watching and have a good evening.